Hello Gero, welcome to today's Engineer's Kitchen. We all know how important a good user interface and a good ergonomic interface is. You as our interaction specialist, can you show me some insights on what we invested in an engineering system to help our system integrators make good looking and good ergonomic projects?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course I can. Yeah, in the Zendan editor we have everything which belongs to, let's say, the user interface. Combined in this folder screens in the project tree, and here you find, for example, the frames which define your general positions of all the stuff on the screen.
So you mean the screen layout where the navigation is and where?
For example, yeah,
okay.
Display navigation, status bar, whatever. Next on the list is the font list, where you can centrally define the fonts used here. And what I can show you here is a good example that it doesn't make sense to create the font like Arial 7, Arial 10 or whatever, but to in general create this central stuff, context space, let's say for a headline, for a button, for a label, whatever.
Maybe it's a good idea that I do that beforehand, so before going into designing of the screens or my layout, this is maybe one of the very first things I should do before starting with
exactly, yeah. So define your layout, define the look and feel, and then centralize it. And even if you need to change it afterwards, it's easy because it's stored in one mouse click in a central place. Yeah, basically the same thing for the color palette. You can centrally store all the colors used. Also, again, a good thing to use it by context and not red, blue, green. Doesn't make much sense.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, and general symbols, symbols which you're using more than once can be stored here.
Buttons or motors or whatever I could think of.
Whatever, some, let's say, more complex stuff.
Okay, that's great to see, Gero. And the styles I see in there, they look pretty new for me. What about this issue?
Yeah, the styles are pretty new development. We did in 750 and 760. And the idea behind the styles is that you can manage the graphical properties of screen elements centrally. Like, for example, I have a button here, and I can easily just extract a style group from this button. Now I have it in here, and I can then relink it to all my buttons, for example, and they or automatically link this graphic stuff. And then afterwards, if my boss says this button should not be red anymore or should be rounded, it's very easy to change. So just one central chink, and automatically in all the places where it's used, it's adapted.
So that's a bit the idea like the brushes in the office projects, for example, but just more because we can centrally edit and engineer things afterwards, also after using the brush, let's say.
Exactly, because with the brush you go one by one for each element, and this can be quite tedious for a lot of screens.
This could save you a lot of time in engineering if you prepared it in beforehand.
And also, if you create the new screen, you already know what is defined, what you can use, and you don't have to think about it anymore. Just use it and forget.
So you make one style, for example, for your exit button, and all the exit buttons in your application then are automatically looking the same. That's great. That's great. Is this something I only can define locally in one Zendan project, or is there another way to use this project-wide, or can I use styles and define them in one project and bring them into another project?
Yeah, there are several possibilities. One thing is you can also use the styles in a global project, and they are available in all the other projects in the workspace automatically. Or you can, of course, copy-paste it also between project, or XML import-export this.
Also XML.
For automatic engineering, also by API.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So it's really nicely integrated in all the engineering systems.
It's completely integrated, needless, let's say.
So one last question. So we see we have a lot of features in there. Could you just mention why it's so important to think beforehand about a good looking interface or an ergonomic interface? Do we have maybe an example what could go wrong?
Yeah, one, let's say, classic example is that the screen is cluttered with a lot of elements, a lot of different things, things which actually do the same but look different. So it's really hard for the operator to find out what is actually editable and what is read-only, for example. And it also makes it very hard for the operator to spot an actual difference, let's say, an actual thing on which he has to react on.
So reaction time is also slow then. I can understand. Yeah. Very well. Gero, thanks a lot. This was good to see, also new for me. And I only can recommend everybody to use that styles, especially in combination with what we've seen, font list and color list and that kind of stuff. Gero, thanks a lot for joining me today.
Thank you.
Keep on the good work and hope to see you soon.
Will do. Thank you.
What a delicious episode of Copert Data's Engineer's Kitchen. If you are still hungry, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.